Hey, guys.
Hey, you guys.
We got you.
Wow. What's up, boys?
Good morning. This is pretty cool, right?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. We were just we were saying this is like we were sitting in a Zoom waiting room right now for you guys. And Seth made a comparison to an orgy, and it got uncomfortable.
Man, yeah, I don't know who starts in this or how it all works or anything, and that's what's always kept me from doing an orgy.
Yeah, got to have somebody take charge.
That's what kept you from doing it. So you,
RJ's like, I'll tell you how it is, kid.
So, Choppy, you've never been involved.
I turned one down once.
Yeah,
it was too far away. I wasn't driving to Saxy at 2 a.m.
So Seth, I mean, you've had the opportunity.
Yeah.
You're asking me.
Why do you say it like that?
Seth, that was a question.
you just.
Of course I have.
Of course. During or post, during or post NFL playing days.
He can't answer.
NFL playing days.
Okay.
Yeah. I was honestly, every now and then when I was a player, I would find myself, especially this happened in Florida, because like Jacksonville's not like a real Florida city, but there's Florida elements to it, and you know how Florida is. Like every now and then, I'd find myself like in some mansion at like 2:30 in the morning, and I'd look around, and I'd be like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
It feels like we're at a tipping point here. I'm getting the hell out.
You asked like it was before or after. Like anybody wants to get with a former NFL player, you want to get with a current one.
Yeah, that's what. And Sean, your opportunities?
Yeah, no, I was not a professional anything. You're
a professional broadcaster.
I'm a professional broadcaster, yeah, but I've not that I know of. I honestly, like, I was so naive in my younger days. I probably had opportunities, but didn't even know that it was going on.
Well,
you know what I mean? I'm like, sorry guys, I'm watching the game.
Wow. Really focused there.
Yeah,
I probably had opportunities. All right, how tough has it been? Like, well, where's the city at in terms of the Texans following still, right? NFL's supposed to dominate and run everything. We know you guys got the dynasty there in baseball, but did people check out? How tough is it to continue talking about this squad?
It's been obviously like people's attention was focused on the Astros for all the way through the World Series, and I'd say until like about a week after the World Series, and then it was funny because that it kind of almost coincided with people are all about the Astros right now. The Texans are an annoyance. The basking in the afterglow of the World Series was about a week, and then the very next week, oh hey, look who's coming to town, Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting experience, but it's been a whole lot of trying to figure out exactly like, okay, who is this how you handle a rebuild? Like, is this how, are we just in the middle of the misery of a rebuild, or do the people that are actually in charge now not know what they're doing and we need to go somewhere else with a rebuild?
Yeah. Is there like legitimate hope? Is Lovey going to be another one and done, or you just got to wait for the quarterback and that's it?
The answer on Lovey is we think yes, which is crazy because at the beginning of the year, that's what everybody was saying. Like, well, there's no way there'll be 2 one-and-done head coaches, especially 2 minority one-and-done head coaches. But that's where we're at. Like, a lot of the coverage nationally, when you start seeing these coaches' hot seat articles and things like that, the Texans get mentioned in there every single time now, and there's not even a whiff of but I can't believe they would do this with the heightened sensitivity of the Rooney Rule and things like that. Like, they are that bad that people are like, nope, just got to fire Lovey. And I'll tell you what about Lovey too, guys. What's been disappointing is that when he got hired, people were actually pretty positive on the hire of Lovey Smith, mostly because he wasn't David Culley. And he wasn't Josh McCown, who almost got hired too. It's been really weird here, guys. Like, everything I say, like
it's been so weird.
Yeah,
It's like everyone, like Jerry Jones brings a certain type of weirdness, but like you guys know what to expect, right? Like at some point, like he's gonna sign some guys that are just to put butts in the seats and all of that stuff. But like it's a particular Jerry Jones type of weirdness. With ours, you never know where it's coming from. It really is. It's a Jack Easterby scenario followed by a Josh McCown potentially being the head coach, followed by
24 lawsuits.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks decided not to show up to work because he didn't get traded. All this. Oh yeah, that little Deshaun Watson thing. I almost forgot about it.
That too.
So does Jeff Saturday? So that because of Jeff Saturday, does that mean that Josh McCown gets this job now because he can just never coach and go right into the head coaching role?
I don't. That was. We were a little bit nervous that Jeff Saturday was going to come in and and light the world on fire, and all of a sudden pave the way for Josh McCown.
We're nervous about everything. That's what we're trying to say. Like, we're nervous all the time. We're walking on eggshells here all the time because there doesn't look to be an end in sight to this right now.
Let me ask you guys this, because like what we cheer for now is for the Texans to somehow cover the spread. And like, okay, we got a big healthy spread. What's it up to, Sean?
I think 17.5.
It's they got the hook on there now, huh? Okay.
Tell me, because I know. Look, I actually went and watched Skip Bayless this morning because I know he's your guys' favorite Cowboys fan.
Oh my
and
God.
It's his team.
Yeah.
And his beloved Cowboys. What he's worried about is the rushing defense for the Cowboys. And I know that they've let up a certain amount of yards, but every time I watch a Cowboys game, I don't get the sense that that's their weakness.
So you want to know what the weakness is?
I want to know how can the Texans, how can
they
the
cover the
Texans,
17.5?
Yes.
Bring Deshaun Watson back in his prime.
No, run the football. And the Cowboys have started slow the past 2 weeks. We're all falling asleep and irritated against the Giants in that first half. And, the fourth quarter against the Colts was kind of deceptive. We came in here on Monday after they scored 54 points, and we're like, little misleading. That was a 2-point game. So McCarthy came on this morning with us 2 hours ago. For some reason, he said he wasn't worried about the slow starts, but a lot of Cowboy fans will tell you the Cowboys are allergic to prosperity. So even though they're supposed to dominate and we're all picking, a 20-point win, it would not surprise me at all if this thing went under the spread, because the Cowboys have come out slow, and if you can run the football against them, you can go ahead and shorten possessions in this game. What do you think, Bob?
Yeah, run the football on them. Take shots against their second corner, who's actually now like their fourth corner.
Yes.
After injuries and everything else.
We're in trouble in the secondary.
Teams who can't even pass the ball have been taking shots on that corner spot, and they've had success with it. And then pray for some of that patented Dak receiver miscommunication that's caused some turnovers. That's probably the recipe. No, that's probably the recipe right there.
Is Davis Mills capable of taking advantage of the secondary?
No.
Oh, God.
Actually, no. He honestly, he has made some nice throws. Like any guy that's in the NFL can make some nice throws. But he has taken some shots downfield. The biggest thing about him in his first go-round was it looked like he was a beat late pulling the trigger every time he threw the ball. And like he was so nervous or so cautious about not wanting to turn the ball over that he'd wait, throw late, and turn the ball over. So he might come out and basically the one thing that might happen is he comes out and just says, screw it. You know what? My back's against the wall. They're probably going to draft a quarterback. I'm just going to start throwing and just go for it. Just go Ryan Fitzpatrick on it. And so he can throw with some touchdown field. It's just letting everything come together just hasn't clicked for him so far.
Have you guys seen a quarterback with a longer neck? Ever than Davis Mills?
No. Let's see. Brad Johnson had a long one. I would say the Mount Rushmore of long-necked football. Merton Hanks had a long neck. He wasn't a quarterback, but it was a hell of a neck. But no, Davis Mills, super long neck. He was actually on our station. He was on our midday show during training camp.
Well,
and he was yeah, it was quite a get. Look, you guys get Jerry. We get it. You guys get Jerry. I was gonna tell you something Davis Mills said about his neck.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I'm not going to.
Sorry,
we're on the show that gets Jerry Jones every week.
We're being jackasses.
We have Rusty Harden say happy ending on our show, and that's it for us. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that was your show?
That was our show.
Wow, that was awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
We pulled it out of him.
Right.
Yep.
That's why Seth feels comfortable opening with orgies all of a sudden.
Absolutely.
As we're cross-talking, 105.3 The Fan in Dallas, 610 in Houston. Who are you targeting? Have you started official draft coverage?
Yeah, we just did a segment before you guys where we went through comps, NFL comps for the top 3 quarterbacks. That's where we are with the season right now. I think this is I don't want to totally speak for Seth, but I'm just going to go because we've conversed about it 5 times a day for the last 5 weeks. I think this is a Bryce Young show. I think we represent. This is our platform is built on the bird thin frame of Bryce Young right now.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's C.J. Stroud and Will Levis and whatever. But that's where we are. If there's not a quarterback taken with that first pick, I was going to say the fans are going to revolt and not show up. But that's, they've already revolted and not shown
They don't show up
but
now?
No. Oh, God, no. The stadium is like, at best, 50-50 right now with Texan fans and opposing fans.
Who else do the Cowboys need to worry about Sunday? Like, what are even some names to know?
Well, Dameon Pierce, the running back, is the guy that was in the running for Rookie of the Year until, like, curiously, he completely disappeared for a couple of weeks. Mostly because the interior offensive line is just atrocious. But he's the one guy who's capable of breaking off a big run. He does not go down easy at all. Like, he usually, if he runs for 5 yards, he has to break 3 tackles to get there.
Wow.
So the offensive line has shown signs of improvement in the last couple of weeks. If that would be the guy, I think, coupled with that somehow setting up the play action so Davis Mills can take some deep shots downfield. This is what Davis Mills has played pretty well. You could call it garbage time, but I guess playing from behind with their backs against the wall in the second halves of games, in a few of these games, they've been within striking distance in the fourth quarter. It never feels like they have a chance in hell of winning the game, but some of these games that are close on the scoreboard have been complete garbage time touchdowns. Some of them the Texans have actually been leading in the fourth quarter because Davis Mills seems to just loosen up a little bit and they start throwing the ball. So you can't, as bad as they've been, you really can't go to sleep on them. And I think that the complacency or the allergy to success that Shan was talking about, I think is probably what the Texans really need to hope for. I mean, last week, Shan, remember when Stefanski in his press conference was talking about Texans, and it sounded like one of those Sunday morning TV commentators who obviously haven't actually watched any of the teams.
You know what it sounded like? It sounded like he was reading the press release that comes out the week of the game where everything sounds really rosy and cool, and someone sent him a copy of the Texans one, and he just started reading that.
It sounds like when somebody calls up and asks me about like a potential 6th round prospect, and I'm like, well, I agree with Mel Kiper, who says
Never agree with Mel. That's a big mistake. Don't agree with Mel.
How do you guys view the Cowboys? Do you view the Cowboys as a legit, serious Super Bowl contender?
I do. I do, and I have since the season started. And I think the thing that's really cool, I was looking at this during the show earlier because when we were talking about the draft, like I really admire how the Cowboys have gone about putting the team together. The Texans are at the very, very beginning of a rebuild. I know the Cowboys, like in 2016 when they drafted Zeke and Dak, they were 4-12 the year before, but there was talent on the roster that just kind of, fell off and went 4-12. But and there's been some hits and misses, but man, the hits have been really, really good for you guys. I think the Cowboys are. I am very excited to wager on the Cowboys in the postseason. I'll put it that way because I think they may not get the. I don't know that they're going to win the division, but I think there might be some value with the Cowboys. I think.
Yeah, and I think that look, whatever the deficiencies are in the secondary, when you have Micah Parsons and Lawrence and all these other guys that can rush the passer. It's a well-constructed team. Like, they're able to make up for any of those deficiencies and account for them because Micah Parsons is a freak of nature who loves to delve into geopolitics. I'm sure you guys.
Wow, we don't know what you're talking about. No idea.
I actually thought immediately of you guys when I saw that yesterday. I was like, oh boy, that's fun talk right there.
Yeah, it's going to allow us to ask Jerry at 10:30 today who won the Griner trade.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Hey, how many times a week do you guys have him on?
We have him once, and the midday show gets him today. He comes on twice a week. Steven comes on multiple times. We don't get Steven, but he's on multiple times. He never says anything. And then we get McCarthy on every Friday.
Okay. Maybe you guys haven't heard, but our midday show had Davis Mills back in training.
Whoa! What about his neck?
He's coming on today, actually. His neck is coming on the show. The neck is excited to be back in the starting lineup.
Well, the neck gets there like 12 hours before the rest of the
right.
So Desmond,
what did the cow?
Bobby, be assertive. Bobby's new to our show.
He's
lay him on the table.
Desmond King. Yeah, he's a player. He plays for the Texans. He was talking earlier this week. I know he told Houston media like he doesn't get the rivalry between Dallas and Houston specifically, and this game in particular. Like, are there a bunch of Texans fans who feel this is something? Like, feel this is some sort of rivalry? I would think Texans fans have most of their hatred for like the Titans.
It's like the intra-divisional stuff is always going to be greater. Like especially you guys know because the NFC East has been forever with those rivalries. I think the biggest thing, and it took me a while to figure this out. The thing that Texans fans have is coworkers who are Cowboys fans. And that's where I think a Texans fan left to his own devices, if he was working from home or something, is A-okay. But we heard from 3 different people who work next to Cowboys fans who are lathe operators this morning, for instance.
Literally.
Like 3 different machine shops. And they just won't shut the hell up. So that's the part that sucks when, in a year where obviously there's a mismatch, the smack talk isn't as much fun when your coworkers are a Cowboys fan.
Are you guys? We know your team. Is your show going to the Super Bowl?
I don't believe we are.
Okay.
I'm figuring out a way to bring my YouTube channel to the Super Bowl.
Seth has been strategizing.
We need you on every year. We get you to sit down with us. We need you on again, Seth. We need to fill a segment.
RJ, you know what though? When you guys were in Houston, I sat down and I felt like RJ was hungover and taking shots at the city of Houston the entire time.
Well, I mean, those were correct.
Miserable,
that was
man.
correct. Yes. Well, look, it is. We call it the armpit. We call it the armpit of the state. Right, that's what we do.
It wasn't good bantered smack talk. It looked like you had had a bad experience the day before.
Well,
and you were
Seth,
pissed off.
we've sat next to you for some moments at the Super Bowl too. Now,
Yeah,
so let's be.
You almost got handsy.
Let's be fair now. Almost choke slamming people through tables. But that's why we love you. That's why we want you to be there. So, we don't even know if we're going.
We don't even know.
We were hoping
going.
if you were telling us Odyssey was sending, so we were trying to use you.
Well, you guys will go if the Cowboys make the Super Bowl, right?
We don't know.
Is this a sore spot right now?
So we hope you guys have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
And enjoy the game on Sunday. Thank you.
All right, fellas.
There they are. 610 Sports Radio, our sister station.